Hi. Uh, I'm not sure how this works. This is my first live stream ever, so yeah, I believe it's working. Yeah, I believe it's working. I don't know if it's like lagging or something. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be working, so that's good. Yeah. So the thing is, I wanted to start like making these programming videos about making things that I want to build. I'm a software developer. I've been a software developer for uh, about 5 years now, or 6 years. And due to the recent circumstances that the world's living, I wanted to like do something that might benefit some of you, or and even just like coding with company, which is going to be different, and hopefully like you can learn something and we can learn together. Actually, I'm gonna be using some technologies that I haven't used in a while, or it's the first time I'm using. So yeah. So the thing that I want to do is like I've started to make these videos in Spanish, where I interview people in entrepreneurship and like doctors as well about getting information about the current situation. Uh, like for example about the doctors, there's a lot of misinformation on the web, and I want to like get some true honest information from professionals. And also I did some interviews with entrepreneurs to see how they are doing, how their companies are fighting this, and how they expect or how they think the world is going to be like after COVID 19. So yeah, so I started to make these videos, and yeah. So the thing is, I want to build a personal website where I can publish like these videos, uh, in order like to have everything in one place, because I'm using Facebook to post the videos, and it's not the best experience to like watch the videos that I have. Also like a section about me or something like that. So I wanted to make this open source, so that people can just like use it, um, if they like. So I'm going to make this like, even though I just want to post videos, I'm gonna try to make this like if you want to like post a blog or something like that. So I'm gonna start coding. I'm gonna use NextJS for this, and Tailwind, and I'm not sure. I haven't decided, but I'm probably going to use Firebase. And why? Because it's not mandatory to use Firebase. The thing is, I want to make a easy to use UI for people that don't know how to code or have difficulties, so they can get an interface to create this blog posts or videos or whatever. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm considering using Firebase, like some place where I have the data, and yeah. So let's see how it goes. Like it says, the first time that I'm ever doing this. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now, and I think I have to like put this. Yeah, and I don't know why there's like this thing here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, whatever. So I usually use iCharm, uh, which is real nice because I can do like this, and wherever, no matter what program I'm in, like I can just press like this hotkey to put it on. So I'm gonna create this project on the desktop, and it's npx, npx create next app, and the name of the app is going to be, it should be something like personal profile or something like that. Personal profile. Yeah, I'm gonna do TGC personal, and TGC is just like this project that I'm trying to launch. Yeah, so I think that's good, and that's gonna create the project itself. I'm gonna try to see if everything's working right, because I don't know. Yeah, so everything seems to be working, and that's good. So yeah, I'm listening to some music on Spotify. I didn't want to put any music in here. I don't know if you like listening to music, and also due to copyright, I can't put something that's like the music I like. So yeah, I know there's some stuff that you can do to share your music, but yeah, let's leave that to another for another time. Because I'm actually pretty nervous right now. Yeah, so I use Visual Studio Code. So we're going to open the recently created project. Just to check OBS, sometimes crashes, but no, it's okay. Awesome. Yeah, so if you don't know about Next.js, it's like a React framework, which is really cool. So you start with this pages folder, which you can see here, and every JS file that you see here, it's basically going to become a page in whatever when you publish it. So I don't know, if you want to have like an about page, you can do about that. I'm misspelling that, about that JS, and that will be about that JS. So maybe we can check this. I don't know what this is. So maybe we can check this so you guys can see. So I'm gonna delete everything. Yeah, I'm gonna completely delete everything. And just it's going to be just like about JS here. So the thing is, you have to export a component, a React component. So I usually go with just exporting the for default, and then you can export an anonymous function, I believe. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. It seems. Yeah, like I told you, this I'm starting with this kind of things. It's quite different making a live stream. Okay, so from what I remember, you have to return from here because and whatever you return, that's what it's on the web page. So if I do, I'm not sure if I should do it like in an object kind of thing, or I should put parentheses. I honestly don't remember. Probably shouldn't erase the first thing that I have. So, but yeah, let's just try this. And yeah, so it seems it's not correct to do it like that, so I should probably export this in parentheses. Yeah. So the thing about React components, you can only export one uh, one parent. So in the top level, you can have like a div and an h1. This is probably going to give us an error. I don't know if this. Yeah. So you can see here JSX expression must have one parent element, so you can only export one. And here's where we are going to build like the main design of the page. Yeah, so I mean, just to check if everything's working, I'm going to do like home, and in about I'm going to do basically the same thing. Actually, let's try this in sort of different way. Yeah. So you can say like assign basically the same. It's an anonymous function, but you assign it to a variable, which when it's about pages, I tend to put it like a capitalized first letter, and then you can export that variable on the bottom of the page. So there we are going to have like whatever we return here. So we return, and we can put like, we're gonna change this just to check the source page to see for you guys to see how it's different. So this is going to say about. So basically we now have an index which is only returning an h1 of home, and here we have a div which in turn has it h1 inside of it. So yeah, I think that will be good for now. Now I think this is a command to run the development environment. I'm just gonna check this. Yeah, dev, which is in turn going to do next dev. So yeah, and this is going to start on localhost 3000, and we can probably see what's going on after that. And we should see a page that says home in a h1, like in a main title. And if we go to localhost 3000/about, it should go to the about page. Yeah, so here's home, and if we check the source, we can see the h1 return here, which is what the component is returning. And basically the div id next, that's a whole application, like the whole React application wrapper, which NextJS does some magic, which is really cool actually, to make the automatic routing for everything here. So basically, when you go to like about, let me show you. So if you go directly to about, this is going to be like rendered on the server, or maybe statically render. Next.js has some cool, which I'm sure we are going to see in the future, cool functionality about that. Where it automatically detects if the page you are requesting should be server-side rendered, or can be previously statically rendered, which it's really fast. But what happens is, if we're going to add a link here in just a bit, but the thing is, if you're in home, let's say we are here and we have a link to about, if we press that link to about, it's not going to go to the server and render and then return a response. That the first load it's coming from the server, but after that, React takes over, and basically you are just navigating inside the application, right? So like a single page application. So that's really cool. So why don't we make that link, and then we can start working on like the design and everything. Oh yeah, and the thing is, this one says home, and there's just this h1 tag. But if you go to about, it should be like a div wrapping that h1 tag. Yeah, so here's the div, which is different from the homepage, which is it will look the same. I just wanted to show you like how it works, because you only should return one element here. Yeah, so um, let's make that link, and then we can start working on installing Tailwind, and probably make the first part. To be honest, I wasn't sure like how far should I go on this first session, because this is like a trial for me. So yeah. So to make a link, you need to import link from next link, which is a component that basically wraps makes the client side navigation possible. Because if you were to only use like an like an a tag and the href, it's going to go to the server, but you don't want that. So what that link does is make it so you can uh, locally navigate like in the client. So that's neat. So we're going to start making this, and we're going to use Tailwind. So probably just leave it like that. Oh, maybe you are interested like that. You don't need anything to style this web page in NextJS. They ship with their styled JSX library, so this is automatically included. So maybe before we install JSX, we can see this. So basically, it's not style. You put style like a normal style tag. The difference if you are coming from like traditional without framework, just vanilla HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the style goes like in here, and this is automatically scoped to the component. So whatever you write here, whatever style you have here is not going to affect any other component. So this is scoped. So I think it's also a really neat feature. So maybe we can do this thing. We can keep the home h1 tag, and we're gonna make that red. So we can say, okay, h1 color red, right? And even though this is like a tag selector, this is only going to apply for any h1 tag living inside this component, but any children or parents won't be affected at all. So again, that I believe that's really cool. And for making the link, you basically use the component that Next gives you, and you have to put an a tag here. Um, so like let's say about, and I don't remember. I think it's href, and if we're going to about, it should be like this. So this should go to about, right? Yeah, so right now we should have a main index page that with the home, and just let me check if OBS is working. Okay, yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, and I don't know what's going on with this. Yeah, so basically right now we're going to have a index page with a link to an about page. And the first load, the home page load is going to be coming from the server, whether this is server-side render or statically rendered, which NextJS automatically detects. And when we press the about link, that part of the navigation is going to be done only client side. So yeah, and the H1 should be color red. And just to make sure we can come back to the home page and do it like all on the client, I'm going to import also the link here from next link. Yeah, so in here, just to also show you how the style JSX library works. So I'm gonna make this H1 be of color, I don't know, yellow. There's something weird going on with the formatting. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm gonna format this. I usually use prettier. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, so here we have this, and we're going to make this. Oh, something's wrong here. Okay, I think Visual Studio detected like a for space tab, but Prettier uses to space tab. So if we just close it and open it again, it's going to solve that. So yeah, so here it's going to be H1 and color yellow. Yeah, so the maybe something more visible, so green. Yeah, so we can check what's going on here. We're going to go directly to the homepage. I'm gonna hide the developer tools, Chrome developer tools. Yeah, so here we have what we expected. We're in the homepage with a title that says home. And this is using some scoped styles from the style JSX library that Next ships with every product, every project, sorry. And then we have the about the about link. But however, this you will notice that there is no refresh here. That's because it's not like if I go this, it waits for the server and then comes. When we use the link tag, that second navigation is done on the client, so it's basically instant. So I believe that's really neat. And just to complete this, I'm gonna make the link and put an a tag here. And this is going to go to the home page, and this is going to say home. One neat thing about Next.js, when you're developing, it automatically loads, so you don't have to like keep pressing refresh or something like that. So yeah, so we can now navigate, and this part of the navigation is being done on the client. However, if someone's coming for the first time, then it goes to the server, and the server detects whether it needs to um, server side render it, or it can statically render it on build time. So that's pretty cool. And I'm actually just just to comment this. I'm gonna use Sate, which are this company is are the creators of or maintainers um, of of NextJS. So yeah, so I think that's really cool. However, for this tutorial, no, it's not a tutorial. For whatever this is, I'm gonna use Tailwind and not the already shipped style JSX library. Yeah, so right now I removed all styling here. I'm going to stop the server now. Yeah, so we have to install Tailwind, which I don't remember how to, and that's why we can code together if this is working, because I have no idea. Yeah, so installation. We have to install Tailwind via npm on the project. We should probably save this. Yeah, so I think that should take care of the installation. We need to add CSS like normal CSS, and for this we also need to check NextJS documentation. Yeah, probably should use like an incognito tab, right? I'm a beginner in this, so my laptop's really slow right now. Yeah, so built-in CSS support, we need to have a global style sheet. So to install sheet to your application, import the CSS file within pages app.js. And where should we put this style CSS? And we need to create a underscore app.js file, and from there import the global styles, right? So we don't really need anything for the app.js. I think this is like a wrapper, and we probably could find this here. Where should that be? Routing bands. Okay, yeah, custom app. And we can see here Next.js uses the app component to initialize pages. You can override it and control the page initialization, which allows you to do something like persisting layout between page changes, keeping state when navigating pages, customer handling. Okay, so add global CSS. So that's what we need. We can probably do a lot more in here if we would need to, but I think for our requirements right now, we don't need to. So I'm just gonna use the example which basically just exports the my app function from there and imports and style CSS. So let's do that. Jesus, it's really slow. Oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, okay. So I'm here, and yeah, so there's an app.js. I'm gonna paste the example. I'm gonna delete the comments here, and here you have to import the style CSS. So we should probably see where we are going to store our CSS files. Which I don't know if there's like a best practice for this, but I don't know, it feels intuitive for me to like make a styles folder and then put like style CSS. It will also be called main. I think main has more sense. Yeah, so let's put main CSS. Yeah, so let's just import that. So it should be in styles and it should be main.css, right? Yeah, so there we have, we are importing that. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Yeah, so we have our CSS file here. And what's the next thing that we should do? Component level CSS. Okay, so we have that part covered. So we need to we need to put this on our CSS. Yeah, so we are going to be using post CSS because that's what NextJS uses. So I think we should import that and not do it from like the Tailwind directive, which is what it says here. So it's better for us just to copy this part and put it here. And this is basically going to import all the things that gets generated here on build time. So I believe the base thing basically resets everything, like removes all default margins, also H1s, H2s, and so on are just like normal text basically, and then like the components and the utilities. So I think that's how Tailwind works. I'm not sure if we need the Tailwind config file. It says optional, but I believe it works for. Let's just do it. If I'm not wrong, it works with some add-ons on Visual Studio Code where they have like autocomplete, and that's going to be handy. Yeah, so it should have generated this. Yeah, we're not going to put anything, it's just going to be like the standard thing. If we need to, we are going to do so, but I think right now we're okay. Okay, so we can process our CSS with Tailwind, which I guess okay, yeah. So basically with this, what I imagine it does is it reads your like main CSS, it sees the import statements here, and basically generates an output with all the classes, and it's probably minified and everything. And that's one option, but we're going to use post CSS. And yeah, here it says for most projects you'll want to add Tailwind as post CSS plugin in your build change. This means adding Tailwind as a plugin in your post CSS config file. So we need to create this. And also I'm seeing here that it uses auto prefixer. So probably Tailwind by default it doesn't add like the prefixes, the CSS prefixes, like dash dash moss dash something. So we probably okay. Let's go one step at a time. So first, let's create a post CSS config.js. Um, so it should be on the top level. So yeah, and the post CSS should, I think it exports modules with a plugins array. Yeah, I believe that's it. However, we don't have auto prefixer right now, so it's probably not going to work. But let's just do that. My computer it's really slow. Auto prefixer. Yeah, so this is what adds the dash WebKit and all that good stuff to make your CSS work on more versions of different web browsers. So we need to install this. I imagine that we can do just like npm install auto prefixer, but let's just check. Can I use this is recommended? Um, I don't know why there's not like a installation instruction here. Or probably there is, but I've not seen it. That's more likely. Let's do npm. This is the package. Okay, the post CSS plugin to parse CSS to add vendor prefixes to CSS rules. Okay, yeah, that's what we need. Yeah, so it seems like it's just installing. So I'm going to install, but I'm also going to save this. So this is going to install. Did something bad happen? That's weird. Oh yeah, I don't have Xcode. Should I install it? I believe so. Yeah, I deleted Xcode a few days ago because it was too large. But I believe you can have only the command line tools, but I'm not sure. Yeah, let's just run this and check if we maybe need to do something for the auto prefixer. Yeah. So I believe a PostCSS plugin was passed as a function using require. It must be provided as a string. So we can use this. Just to rule out that this is an outer prefixer thing. Okay, so it's not an outer prefixer thing. Yeah, so let's go back to the documentation. PostCSS config.js required tailwindcss. Or we, or is it Webpack that we're using? No, it should work because it's doing this thing. Okay, that's weird. Let's just search for this. So PostCSS was requirements should be string. And that's just the magic of Google for that. Okay, this is on NextJS, so from what I'm understanding, there should only be strings here, another require function. So I'm guessing Next does something there. Which is kind of weird, I believe. Yeah, so here there's okay. I'm gonna try this, although it doesn't make too much sense for me unless Next.js is doing something there, which is super awesome. Yeah, so it built. And it seems to be working because now you can see that the H1 doesn't have like the normal size and margins, which I'm actually really impressed because we only put like the string there, which is kind of odd. Let's put auto prefixer here as well. And I'm not sure if when you're making this kind of changes on a configuration level, you need to restart. So just in case, I'm going to restart. So I believe if we manage to get Tailwind functioning, I think that will be a pretty good first run for my first Twitch experience. Okay, so this seems to be working. And we can navigate and everything. Okay. Let's just save this and let's go to the main page. And yeah, let's just start with this. And I actually don't remember how to put color or anything about Tailwind, but it's really cool. So maybe we can search for color, text color. Okay, so basically we said we write text, dash, and then all the different variations of colors that Tailwind ships, which are really nice, and they give you like a very well range of colors which look good. So let's use something. I'm leaning more towards like this kind of color, but might be too dull. So maybe kinda blue maybe, cause that since this is going to be an about page, it kinda has to be like a formal thing. 'Cause if you are using it for like your curriculum or something like that, they might be better to have this kind of thing. So yeah. So we're going to give this a color. But we are probably not going to notice this, so let's just see how font size works. Okay, so this is really cool. So with Tailwind, you don't have to think, oh, like I should put like 0.5 or 0.25 RAM or something like that. Like Tailwind just gives you like extra small, small base, large, whatever. So I'm gonna use like 3XL. So Jax 3XL. Is that right? Yeah, 3 text dash 3XL, yeah. So we probably should see this on localhost. On this one. Yeah, so here, but it's working. I don't know how. Because I don't know why you should only provide strings on the post CSS configuration. So that might be something um, with Next that they did something in that sense. 'Cause I remember you should do require. Otherwise, I don't know how like you're importing that. So, but anyways, that's what the error said. That's what we did. So yeah, we need to check if auto prefixer is working. But for now, I believe it's working. And just to make sure, let's just change the color to something like red. And it's not working, right? Is this a thing? That might not be a thing in Tailwind. Let's do color. Oh shit. Color. Yeah, text color. Yellow, green, green. Okay, yeah. You basically have to put a number. So if we do red dash 900, that's probably going to be red 900. So that's probably going to work. Yeah, I mean, it's not really red. Just look at all the colors. 900 might be too dark, and that's why. Yeah, so, oh yeah. So 600 seems to be like in the middle, like full, uh, what is it called? Accent color. Yeah, so this should be noticeable. Yeah, yeah. So Tailwind is working. The links are working. We installed Tailwind. We did a fresh NextJS install. Yeah, so this was a very great first experience for me. I got used to like it's kind of slow and it didn't crash, which that was one of my concerns. But it seems to be working just fine. So for next session, which I'm gonna try to do this like every day at 2 p.m. or something like that. We're going to finish. Well, I don't know if we are going to finish, but at least we're going to get much farther than we are right now. To make this like an about page, and maybe you guys can use it. Yeah, and hosting it on site. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's like free. It's basically free. So I believe with all we are living in quarantine and everything, probably not a lot of people are going to have the money to like develop these kind of things. And I think technology is going to help a lot of people like looking for jobs and maybe small businesses that don't have the money to pay for this kind of things. Uh, it's it's going to help in some way. So yeah, it was a really great first experience. I'm not sure how to stop this. Uh, so I guess just stop streaming. I'm gonna just finish with me. Yeah, cool. So this was a great first experience for me. Hope you guys liked it. I'm not used to doing this, but I do know about programming, so I want to like show you the process of looking for documentation and when things go wrong, because things go wrong, how you usually solve this. Because one thing that I used to watch, and I still do watch a lot of tutorials, but in those tutorials, uh, you sometimes forget that those are edited and they are planned and they have a script. So when you see a lot of those tutorials with when people just gets it like on the first run, and they just go super fast, and then when you try it and you see that it's not that easy, that you're having trouble and you get stuck in certain things, uh, you sometimes forget that it's because those videos are edited. And I have nothing against those type of tutorials, which are really great, and I've learned through those tutorials. but just bringing like the experience of making it real. uh, I don't know if that's uh, if I'm making myself clear, like what I'm trying to say. But the thing is, I think it's very useful to have this like experience where you see people struggle through things, and it's not your fault. And I think that was the point that I was trying to make. When you see those tutorials where people go super fast and they're like super smart and they don't have any troubles and they just go through the whole code and everything works. And when you try that and you don't get that experience, sometimes you might feel like you are the one with the problem. Maybe you are not good enough. But that's not true. Like, it's just because those contents are edited, and that's better if you want to like learn something specific or something like that. But sometimes for like the real work experience, you feel I don't know, like inferior in some way. I don't know what's the word, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, hope if anyone's watching, hope you had fun. So see you uh, probably tomorrow. No, it's Sunday, so Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this on Monday. Thank you very much.